So, welcome to the 7th Disrupt Sydney. My name is Kai Riemer. I'm professor at the business school and I'm the leader of the Digital Disruption Research Group, who is the co-host of this event together with Sydney Business Insights, and Sandra Peter is sitting somewhere over there, who is the director of Sydney Business Insights. We'll hear from Sandra later. So I'm here to represent the University of Sydney Business School and the Digital Disruption Research Group. And before we start, I would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. It is upon their ancestral lands that the University of Sydney main campus and also this campus is built. And we do share our knowledge, teaching, learning and research practices within this university. And pay respect to the knowledge embedded forever within the Aboriginal custodianship of this country. And we acknowledge that learning and teaching has happened in this country way before white settlement. So today I would like to, first of all, give you a very, very brief introduction to Disrupt Sydney as an idea. The idea early on when we started out researching and talking about digital disruption at the time was to actually have one day a year where we invite people that we find have interesting ideas and then to hear from them, but also to share what they have to say with the wider public and the university and industry community. And so that is in the true spirit of the Digital Disruption Research Group, which is what we call an engaged research group, which has membership from both industry and academia, and operates on the assumption that this divide shouldn't exist in the first place, and as such is already sort of standing in the theme of rethinking success and how we actually do academia embedded in the world rather than from the top of the ivory tower, you know. So let me just give you one thing that I learned from each of the past Disrupt Sydney events. So in 2013, we learned a lot about the responsive organization, breaking down silos and organizations with enterprise social networking in particular. And that has stayed with us, and we have a workshop on this topic in the afternoon as well. And it's certainly something that has taken off since, so we were quite early with the topic back then. In 2014, I learned a lot about Minecraft from then Year 8 student Maya Dello, and also Mark Sager came to present Baby X, a digital baby that amazingly well connected with the audience. And I urge you to watch the video because that was quite a moment, and started us on a trajectory on looking at research around digital humans. And we have a session in the afternoon before the networking and drinks where we look into the future of deepfakes. And we have Scott here from Faculty AI in the UK who's come out to share some of the latest research in that space. We continued that in 2015 and we learned how this technology can be used for good with Skip Rizzo from USC, who uses digital avatars to help war veterans with their post-traumatic stress disorder. 2016 was an entertaining walk through the future of innovation with Dr. Carl, who you might know, and we learned a fair bit about blockchain and Bitcoin, which was really just taking off at that time. 2017, we looked into the future and to the fringes, and I learned a lot about how hard it is to actually bring fringe ideas that give us a glimpse into the future into corporates and traditional organizations, and how hard it actually is to engage people with things that are out of the ordinary and look, for all intents and purposes, crazy, but might become just normal part of life down the track. And we continue that theme in some of the workshops in the afternoon as well. And then last year, we looked again into the internal processes and heard from Pete Williams from Deloitte about how hard it sometimes is to just engage people in organizations with innovation. And we also had Howley from LA talk to us about digital humans that used a lot of tech previously but can now be run from an iPhone basically, and becoming mainstream now. And that's sort of what we do in the afternoon. Now, the topic today is a collaboration between Sydney Business Insights and the Digital Disruption Research Group. SBI has a series on rethinking success. And that has many facets, right? So rethinking success is something that we've touched on implicitly over the years, but it's also something that we have discussed in the group in the past couple of years. And so if you think about our world today, there are so many paradoxes that we're living with and that we have to reconcile, and that I think gives us a glimpse at a fundamental shift that is currently underway, rethinking the economy, the society. If you think about these paradoxes, on the one hand, we want prosperity for the world. But on the other hand, we're destroying the planet. We're creating climate change. We want economic growth in this society, but we're creating inequality at the same time. We want our work to be partly automated because, it makes our life easier. But the work that is left is more complicated. And also, if I look at my job and if I look around the room, you would agree, busy work at work doesn't get any less, right? So we have this paradox. We want more productivity, but at the same time, the quality of work that is left is not always great. We strive for connectivity in our professional, our private lives, but we compromise on work-life balance, right? We have gadgets intrude in every aspect of our lives. We're following the vision of information at our fingertips, which Bill Gates propagated years ago. But we now live in a world where we have fake information and a decreasing belief in facts and the true nature of information and expertise. We want job growth in the economy, but we end up with a lot of gig work. People want job security in their life, but they also want purpose. They want to believe in an idea. They want to be entrepreneurial. And quite often we can't have both sides of these equations that I have just outlined, or indeed we have to rethink the basis on which these things are understood and the questions are being asked to then maybe overcome some of these paradoxes. And I'm sure that our speakers in the morning in the workshops will touch on not just one, but many of the topics that I have just touched on and outlined. So that's the theme for the day, to sort of grapple with some of those paradoxes and contradictions and hear about ideas to rethink success in different contexts. And so we're going to do this with 2 sessions in the morning. So we're going to have talks right now, and each of those sessions we will end with a panel discussion. We have a coffee break from roughly 10:45 to 11:15. There's a little bit of flexibility because this is an emergent project. We do not drill our speakers much like TED or other events would do. So 2 sessions, 3 talks each, 1 keynote, 2 short talks, a panel, then lunch from 1 to 2. And then we're going to have 2 workshop sessions. So in the past, we've had 1 long workshop, and you had to pick between 7 or 8 workshops. Feedback has been that that's not great. It's a bit long, and also I would have liked to go to 2 of those workshops. So we've taken that on board. We have 2 workshop sessions, 4 to 5 workshops each, with a little tea break in the middle. And that happens after lunch, and I'll introduce some of those workshops as we go through the morning. And then we have from 4:15 to 5:15 the session on the latest developments in deepfakes and the arms race between fake information and those who want to actually preserve the internet as an information space. And then we have drinks and networking to round out the day. So it is now my privilege to oh no, wait. Someone told me earlier, we are rethinking success, Kai. We are leaving the boardroom. You should take off your tie, right? See, I get to wear a tie about once or twice a year. I always make a point of picking a nice one, right? So nice tie. This is it, right? So I'm gonna take it off. It's the first, never done this, right? But we are rethinking success, and this is my small gesture. Someone else suggested we should be on climate strike. We shouldn't even be here, but I thought that was a bit outrageous because you had paid for, the tickets, some of you. Anyway, so it is now my pleasure to introduce to you our first speaker.